to discuss or learn more about the different articles that we'll be voting on tomorrow at the firehouse. Before we begin this meeting, though, I'd like a moment of silence for an individual who has been part of this community for a long time. I think we all remember, and we certainly miss Murray Lewis. Thank you. I'd like to begin, as most of you know, we have three articles that we vote on before we go into the general discussion of those articles that will be voted on tomorrow. The three articles basically are the one that establishes this meeting, and the other two articles have to do with taxes. So we'll need a motion to pass those three articles before we move on. Also, I'd like to mention that if there are members here who are not members of the community, who do not live in Pownal, you certainly can't speak, but it's at the pleasure of the members of the community that are here. So I think we will begin. Article 1, to hear reports of town office and take action thereon. I need a motion, please. If you would, be sure that Julie has an opportunity to write it down, because we do keep records of who makes the motion and who doesn't. So Julie, if you don't get it, you're all set. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? 2. To see if the voters will authorize the treasurer to receive taxes until they become delinquent. Have a motion?
Was it second?
Did you get it? Second? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Thank you. And third, shall the voters authorize payment of real estate and personal property taxes on November 10th, 2026, no later than 5 p.m. by delivery to the town office, postmarked on or before that date. Underlined payment must also be made by that date and time. Do we have a motion? Thank you. Do we have a second? Thank you. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? All right, now the remaining articles are articles that will be...
Tim?
Oh, yes.
When you're reading, I can't hear you very well. The speaker is only picking up when you finish.
Okay, thanks for letting me know. Complain if I don't do a good job. That's the best thing. Okay, Article 1. The election of the following officers required by law: moderator, select board, delinquent tax collector, trustee of public monies, cemetery commission. Article 5. Shall the voters appropriate $1,732,453.70 for the general expenses of the town, of which $1,333,531.11 to be raised by taxes, and $19,147.59 from prior years' undesignated surplus funds. 6, shall the voters appropriate $1,332,922.43 for the maintenance and construction of highways of the town, of which $11,226.82 is to be raised by taxes, and $144,395.61 from prior year's undesignated surplus funds. Article 7, shall the voters appropriate $11,000 to Bennington Area Visiting Nurse Associations and hospice for providing health care to individuals residing in the town. I should also mention that most of these organizations that are requesting funds have submitted a document that's included in the town report that you can read and find out what they're doing and why they're doing it. Article 8, shall the voters approximately $500 to the Bennington County Conservation District. 9, shall the voters appropriate $500 to Bennington Community Associated Against Children Abuse, not a not-for-profit agency. 10, shall the voters appropriate $2,000 to Bennington Free Clinic. 11, shall the voters appropriate $2,000 to Bennington Project Independence for comprehensive in-person adult day services to Pownal residents. Turn the page. 12, shall the voters appropriate $1,800 to BROC Community Action in southwestern Vermont for crisis fuel and food self-assistance. 13, shall the voters appropriate $600 to the Green Mountain Retired Seniors Volunteer Program and volunteer program for support of seniors residing in the residence of the town. 14, shall the voters appropriate $200 to Vermont Green Up for the support of services rendered to the residents of the town. If you wouldn't mind giving your name, and we'll take it from there.
Dave Lowe, Pownal resident. Just wanting people to know, I think many already realize this, that as a compliment to Green Up Day, there are a number of Pownal residents who work throughout the year to keep our roads and streamways clean. We call ourselves the road stewards, and Tom Shuey gives us Green Up bags, and people who are road stewards are welcome to bring trash that they collect back to the transfer station free of charge. So thanks to the many of you who are already doing that, but if there are others who are interested in signing up because they have near and dear roads that they would like to occasionally pick up from, please let me know. See me afterwards or be in touch. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Article 15, shall voters appropriate $6,000 to Oak Hill Children's Center. 16, shall the voters appropriate $3,000 to Pownal Youth Baseball for the support of the baseball and soccer program. 17, shall the voters appropriate $500 Project Against Violent Encounters for the support of services rendered to the residents of the town. 18, shall the voters appropriate $15,000 to the Solomon Wright Library for operation and maintenance. Yes.
Yeah, I'm going to just turn this a little bit this direction. Hopefully that won't disrupt anything. I'm Emily Gold. I'm the director at the library in town. I've been in town for over 20 years as a Pownal resident, and this is my 3rd year as the director. You can read more specifically about what we've done over the past year in the town report. I just want to highlight some things that I feel really good about. So We are not asking for more funds this year. This is the third year that we've asked for the same amount for our operations and our director, which are the two articles that I'll be discussing. We've seen steady growth over the past few years that I've been here. We've seen 17% more patron visits this last year than in 2024, and we added new patrons from Pownal and surrounding areas. We offered over 35 free events, including regular collaborations with groups such as the Southwestern Council on Aging, the Hoosick River Watershed Association, the Bennington Multicultural Center, Sunrise Family Resource Center, the Bike Hub, and Faith Church. We've done collaborations with the Pownal Elementary School, including a really popular and beautiful winter art show, Head Start, and outreach to Oak Hill. We've received 4 grants this year, including 1 grant for a community garden and 1 for early literacy. And grants and donations make up the remainder of our budget that we're not requesting from the town. Because of Pownal's location and lack of certain services, we also offer what we think are really vital services to our community. We have a snack fridge and free coffee, and anyone can come in and grab snacks and make themselves a cup of coffee at any time we're open. We offer printing, scanning, and fax services to anyone who needs it. We did a coat drive this year in partnership with the town, which was really great and very, very popular with people coming through. We upgraded our computers, and our Wi-Fi extends to the parking lot, so that is in use 24 hours a day. Anyone can pull up and use that. We have free meeting space for local organizations and private groups, and we still have our bus stop right out front for the whole neighborhood, which stops 3 times a day, Monday through Friday. We offer traditional library services, like new books for adults and kids. We have interlibrary loan, which extends our offerings. We have our library of things and museum passes, and Pass to Prospect and Vermont State Parks. We offer toy checkouts in the Peckham Toy Library, which is a really special part of our collection. We have large print books and other accessible materials from the State Eagle Library. And in 2026, we're planning a focus on children, family, and encouraging early literacy. And part of that is due to our new youth services librarian, who is longtime children's librarian, Linda Donegan, who's here with us tonight. Again, not asking for additional funds for adding a new position. We are reviving the Tour Pownal Bike Ride this year and making it a town-wide event, working with lots of local people to have that happen October 3rd this year. And we really just want to create a welcoming space for our entire community, and we just believe that the library is for everyone, and we encourage you to stop by and visit.
Julius Rosenwald, longtime Pownal resident, and I'm also speaking on behalf of the library. And I'll be sure, if anybody in this room, to my left or to my right, has not been in the library since it's been really, it's a new library, I encourage you to go and at least have a look. Thanks very much.
Article 19, shall the voters appropriate $30,000 to the Solomon Wright Library for the support of a director? 20, shall the voters appropriate $1,200 to the Southwestern Vermont Area Council on Aging for the support of services rendered to the residents of the town? 21, shall the voters appropriate $5,000 to Sunrise Family Resource Center, not-for-profit agency, for the support of services rendered to the town? 22, shall the voters appropriate $2,500 to the Tutorial Center for the support of adult education and literacy to the residents of the town? 23, shall the voters appropriate $440 to the Vermont Center for Independent Living for the support of people with disabilities in the town? Shall the voters appropriate $2,000 for the Pownal Valley seniors for services provided to the residents of the town? 25, shall the voters appropriate $6,000 for the support of the Touring Point Recovery Center for Bennington County to provide services to the residents of the town? 26.
Tim, hold on. You have a-
Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you.
Hey, everyone. My name is Laura Jarrett, and I'm the executive director of the Recovery Center of Bennington. I'm also a longtime Pownal resident. Turning Point Center of Bennington is the only peer recovery center in Bennington County, and we have the only men's transitional housing facility in the county. Since 2004, we have helped clients with alcohol and substance use disorder map out an achievable recovery plan. We then provide them with the coaching and resources they need to make progress. We help individuals, families, and the community, and have been the lead distributor of harm reduction supplies and information in the area. We are asking voters to support a $6,000 appropriation to help with our operational costs. Services we provide include individual and family recovery coaching, recovery groups, wellness classes, transitional recovery housing, and harm reduction. We are confidential and free. No one is ever turned away because they can't pay. While our center is in Bennington, we serve all of Bennington County. Pownal and other nearby communities benefit through reduced strain on emergency services, stronger workforce participation, and healthier families. We also want voters to know that we are intentionally spreading the costs across the county. This year, we are on the ballot in Pownal, Shaftesbury, and in Bennington. And North Bennington has also supported us with opioid settlement funds. Next year, we plan to approach Manchester, Arlington, and Dorset to share more broadly. We are all in this together. Many clients reach out to us directly, but we also get referrals from many local agencies. These include probation and parole, Bagnfield Family Health Center, Sunrise Family Center, SVMC, the AIDS Project, Bennington EMS, and Bennington PD. Like you, we care about members of our community that need extra help. The $6,000 investment helps ensure our doors remain open and that recovery support remains free and accessible to anyone who needs it. Thank you for your consideration and your continued commitment to recovery in our community.
26, shall the town of Pownal vote to continue to exempt Pownal Rescue Squad and the Pownal Volunteer Fire Department property taxes on the following parcels for a period of not more than 5 years, commencing with the grand list year starting April 1st, 2026, and ending March 31st, 2031. Pownal Rescue Squad building and land at 22 Ladbrook and Firehouse, and land located at 253 Route 346, 3137 Route 346, 2854 South Stream Road, and 2872 North Pownal Road. I know we have a member of the fire department who wants to speak, so Jamie, this is a good time for you.
My name is Jamie Elwell. I'm the president of the Pownal Fire Protective Association. As far as We don't have a ballot article now, so I just wanted to thank the community for their continued support. We're in the general budget now, so we don't have an article to speak to. So last year, we covered over 140 calls. It was one of our busiest years with times changing, ranging everything from structure fires to motor vehicle accidents, to carbon monoxide calls, EMS assists. Basically, every time the tone goes out, we respond. Did purchase a new truck that we took delivery of last year, which has helped us out a lot. Received a UTV the year prior. We've used that multiple times between fires and rescues. Been applying for grants. We did get a couple of grants this year, so we were able to purchase some new firefighting gear and wildland gear. So we are still applying for grants to try and help keep the cost down. Other things we're touching on right now is the state has really cut back as far as our training available to us. So we've gone to reaching out to agencies just over the border in New York State and throughout Vermont. We've got some agencies that come in on Monday nights at a cost to do classes for us because, you know, the in-house training only goes so far. As I tell many new people, I want to be smarter than I am. It's the stuff that we learned 30 years ago is all changing. We've had our first electric car fire that we were involved with in Bennington, so that's put us into a whole other mindset of we need a lot more training and there's going to be costs involved in that. So just to let everybody know what we're up to. And thank you very much for your support.
Our volunteers are first up or down?
We're about where we were last year. We get some that come and some that go. Recruitment is one thing and retention is another. You know, because a lot of people find out there's a lot of hours and time involved in it. So we're trying to keep as many people. We do have some young people, which is good because we need somebody to hand this off to. Anybody have any questions? Any other questions? Thanks again for your support.
Thank you.
Jeff Miller, I'm Assistant Chief of the Pownal Valley Fire Department. I'd like to echo what Jamie had to say as far as continued support for the community. I'll just read off what we wrote for the report. I can add a little bit to it as well. So Pownal Valley Fire Department would like to acknowledge and thank the residents of the town of Pownal and the Select Board for their continued support. The funds received each year are used for fire department operations, building and apparatus maintenance, insurance, and general upkeep of our 3 stations. This year, we have also continued our efforts to replace our center station by applying for professionally designated community project funding, which we anticipate hearing about soon. At the time of that writing, we hadn't heard back. I am pleased to announce now we have heard back and we have been delegated congressional funding for a new station in the amount of $930,000 and change, I believe. I could be wrong, but we do still have some work to do to obtain it, but we're moving in the right direction as far as that goes. Over the last few years, we've tried to focus more on community outreach by being more visible and involved in many town activities, including teaching fire prevention at the elementary school, our annual Santa Parade, and the community tree lighting and celebrate Pownal festivities. Follow us on our Facebook page under Pownal Valley Fire Department to stay involved, or to stay informed on all the things that we are doing, from trainings, calls, and active emergency situations in town to fundraisers and special events. Please continue to support all of our emergency services here in town, because one day it could save your life. Respectfully, the membership of the Pownal Valley Fire Department.
Hello, Becky Levine, Executive Director of Pownal Rescue. On behalf of everyone at Pownal Rescue, we would like to thank the residents of Pownal for your continued support of our organization. Your support allows us to continue serving the community and providing the care that is needed when it is needed most. Despite facing some financial challenges, our commitment to our mission has never wavered. We remain dedicated to providing outstanding patient care to the people of our community. Our organization continues to be guided by our core values of teamwork, integrity, accountability, and professionalism in everything we do. 2025, we responded to 878 calls for service, which represented a neighbor, a friend, a family member who needed help in a difficult time. Behind every call is a committed team working to ensure help arrives when it matters most. We are proud to serve this town and remain committed to strengthening our service, supporting our staff, and continuing to meet the growing needs of our community. On behalf of Pownal Rescue Squad, we thank you for your trust and continued support of our service. We also want to thank the Select Board and our friends over at the Pownal Fire Department who help us very often. So.
A resident and an honorary associate member of the Pownal Rescue Squad. And I'm here tonight to speak on behalf of the Rescue Squad. They have recently had concerns about their financial issues and a lack of support from the community. Every month, the director has been putting a call breakdown on the social media page, Facebook, and I noticed that not many people read or review this detailed report. So to make things clear, I'm going to describe the call breakdowns so you can understand what each means. And I hope this will help people understand exactly what their daily routine is besides stocking medical supplies, fundraising, checking the vehicles, washing ambulances, and keeping the squad house clean and neat. Also writing call sheet reports. And these are considered essential services provided by the ambulance service according to the Vermont statutes in emergency medical services. So here's a review of the call breakdown. For 2025, which they had 878 calls. I don't know if anyone had been on the media to see them, but there's a list, and you can click at them every month and see where they're providing services. So this past year, which was the 2025, had 878 calls for service. Pownal patients were transported were 288. Mutual aid transfers were 211. Supporting neighboring communities when extra help is needed, mutual aid agreements are in place. Now, patient refusals were 152 people. That means they weren't transported. They didn't want to go. After the squad is already there and provided the service, okay? And this call requires a full EMS response, but it brings in minimal reimbursement, if any, not billed to the person that's not transported. So cancellations, 91. Calls were dispatched to, but they're canceled before they arrive, and sometimes it's due to other responders arriving first or the situation resolves. And these calls do not generate reimbursement. Transfers to higher level hospitals, 88 patients. Transporting patients who need higher level of care to facilities equipped to provide it. That would be like going to Dartmouth, Albany, Berkshire, St. Peter's, any of the other hospitals that can't treat at this hospital and they have to be transferred. That's how many they took care of, 88 patients. Local transfers, which are like nursing homes, etc., or to homes, 48 patients. And returning patients safely to their homes or transporting them to a nursing facility also. So I just wanted everybody to keep in mind that your donation is encouraged, and every moment you stand with us makes a real difference. We're a proud squad, and we're here to serve you, and it's a tradition that's been based in concern for those in need, which continues since 1960. Thank you all for your support.
Come on up.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Bill Hathaway. I'm from 2555 South Stream Road. Been a town resident for about 20 years. And I want to address, as a former EMS chief and paramedic for more than 35 years, and I want to let you know in the interest of transparency, I'm a former member of Pownal Rescue, a very proud member. I'm speaking because the EMS request before us is no longer a routine appropriation. It's on track to consume over 15% of the Pownal's appropriation fund, or general fund. When one service takes that much from the town budget, we have an obligation to demand answers. Let's start with the numbers. You're being asked $200,000 tonight, but the rescue squad has already presented the select board with a $300,000 proposal. And on December 18th, they requested, the select board approved an additional $50,000 outside the normal budget process. This means that the real cost is already $250,000, with a clear push to $300,000 next. Sorry. Fingernails.
Take your time.
Let me some. Costs are skyrocketing, yet the organization refuses to provide basic transparency. Any taxpayer-funded entity owes that to this town. Financials, not provided. Governance documents, not provided. Staffing justification, long-term planning, not provided. We're being told just to trust them with close to $250,000. That is not how responsible government works. And the lack of accountability goes deeper. The IRS 2024-990 shows the executive director is also the board chair who's paid over $86,000. The national average EMS director salary in 2026 is about $77,000. Ours is significantly higher, with no independent oversight, no town representation on the board. This is a textbook conflict of interest. No nonprofit receiving hundreds of thousands of dollars in public money should be allowed to set its own salaries without external accountability. We are also being pushed toward a full-time EMS model with zero data showing it's needed. No call volume analysis, no response time analysis, no comparison to the hybrid or per diem staffing model used successfully across Vermont. Before we commit to a full-time payroll, we deserve to know what problem we're solving. Let's be clear, there's never been an RFP, no competitive bidding, no evaluation of alternatives, no assurance we're getting the best service for the best price. When one provider controls both the service and the information, costs rise. This is exactly what's happening. The result, Pownal taxpayers are now subsidizing over $700 per 911 call. And that's according to a January 14th report that was put out by the EMS, or Vermont EMS Council. Pownal Rescue Squad's total cost per call was $629 per call, with an average reimbursement of $474 per transport. That's a deficit of $155 per call, not $700. But either way, the model is not sustainable. Regional comparisons make this even harder to justify. Shaftesbury currently pays $42,000 a year for EMS. Bennington, with 5 times our population, pays $246,000 per year. Yet Pownal residents are being asked for $200,000 after already giving $50,000 with a $300,000 proposal already on the table. How is a town our size paying nearly as much as Bennington and 5 times what Shaftesbury pays? How is the town our size, The answer is simply because we haven't demanded accountability. This is not anti-EMS. This is pro-taxpayer, pro-transparency, pro-responsible government. Before we commit to a funding level that will shape our taxes for years, we need full financial transparency, oversight of salaries and governance, town representation on the board, a justification for full-time staffing, and a competitive bidding process. Also, a long-term plan with the town, not just the squad controls. We can't keep writing blank checks. We deserve answers, oversight, and options. I'm not being against the squad at all. I'm just simply being a responsible taxpayer. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mike Gardner, I'm going to speak on 2 points here. One is a Pownal resident for 61 years. The other one is the chairperson of the select board. So Bill, I want to correct you on a couple of things here. There's no $300,000 on the $150,000. They came to us and asked for another $150,000. We gave them $50,000. That's a total of $200,000. There's no $300,000 number out there that's anybody's voting on. I want to be clear on it. Another thing that the select board has done, the rescue squad agreed to it, we're going to do quarterly audits. I'm not going to stay here and tell anybody in town that it's a perfect situation and what's going on. It's not. There's faults in it. We did the select board, and I believe it was December, that was in December. We made some adjustments. We recognized, the rescue squad recognized there's some problems, the select board recognized there's some problems. We worked towards correcting them. Do we have the answers right now? Nope, I don't. And I'm not going to stand here and tell anybody that I do, or any of the board. We don't have the answers, but we know there's a problem, so we will find the answer. We will work towards that. It's as simple as that. If it is going out and get some quotes, whatever we need to do, that's what's going to be done. That's what has to be done. I totally agree with that. But as far as accountability, I don't know. I think anybody that's used the rescue squad in this town, I've used it for my dad multiple times. I've used it for other people. Accountability, when you need them out there, there's accountability. Somebody shows up, somebody does whatever they need to do. That's accountability. Same thing with the officers. When you need them, that's accountability. Them coming and responding to a situation, an accident, whatever. I was fire chief for, I don't know how many years I was fire chief in this town, a long time. I worked with every single one of them over the years. And I've been board members, and I had Carolyn and I, how many calls have been on Carolyn?
26 years.
I've been there, I've done this stuff. And I feel the frustration. I feel the frustration of what everyone else is feeling too. Okay, I'm a taxpayer. My family pays a lot of tax. It's not a secret. But we just need to work towards a better accountability system. And I don't disagree with you on that, but I want to make sure we have the numbers out there. The numbers we gave were wrong. I'm not sure where we got them, but they're definitely wrong. $150,000, we gave them another $50,000, so on this budget here is $200,000 for common rescue. And there's no $300,000 number out there. Okay?
Would anybody else like to respond?
Yeah, yep. I just want to say that the rescue squad did come to us. We asked specific questions, and they were working those issues, and we asked about a board, and they now have a board. There's a lot of stuff that's work in progress behind the scenes that a lot of the taxpayers don't see or haven't watched the meeting, so they are not informed of that. And all you got to do is ask questions directly, and we're more than happy to answer what we can. But there is things working. I mean, we're moving forward. And that's, in the nutshell, we're working with them to take and better them as well as better than stuff for the town. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, please come forward.
Jenny Dewar, Pownal, obviously.
Just give us your name, please.
Jenny Dewar.
I'm sorry, yeah.
Jamie, I just want to correct saying behind the scenes. There was nothing behind the scenes. You guys are fully transparent.
Well,
And I just want to, because it's words matter, and so because it's recorded and everything, I want to be very careful with using terminology like behind the scenes.
I mean
So
at the meetings. Thank you.
I know what you meant. I just want to be sure that everyone understands that the select board does nothing behind the scenes,
Right.
especially with budget. It's all in the open. It's all transparent. I have found you guys to be the most transparent select board in a very long time. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
Would anybody else like to speak? I think it's important for all of us to realize that the purpose of a town meeting is to give the opportunity to people to express their ideas and make the town officers aware of concerns so that as the appropriate time and place, they can deal with them. So, at least as an individual, I appreciate somebody expressing his or her opinion about things that maybe should be looked into. But thank you for that.
I actually have one thing to say about the rescue squad. I'm Emily Gold, and I just want to say that before I was at the library, I didn't really have a lot of dealings with the rescue squad. But I have just been so grateful to their enthusiasm for all of our events, and they show up. I mean, they come for our block parties, they support us, and I'm just really impressed with how they support our community. So that's thank you.
Is there anybody else who'd like to speak? We have one last article. Article 27, shall the town of Pownal vote to place an outside drop box on the door of the town office to provide services to residents of the town? Are there any other issues that should be brought before this committee before we ask for adjournment?
Jenny Dewar again. To have this as an article, it's because I guess a citizen group probably put out a petition and has to get a certain number of names on the petition, and as long as you get those names, then you are automatically made an article. All we had to do is go to the select board and ask, and I'm sure that all 5 of them would have said absolutely yes. All you have to do is go to Ellen and ask. I'm sure she would have said absolutely, maybe not, I don't know, but okay, I won't speak for Ellen. But all you have to do is go to the select board and ask before jumping into trying to get an article on the ballot. It's just a thought, so.
Thank you. On a personal note, I would just like to thank so many people in the town who give services to the residents of the town. I'm thinking in particular of the road crew, who this year has had a challenging task with the constant snow. I would be very curious as to the number of yards of sand that they've spread this year. If there are no other questions, I would entertain a motion to adjourn. Have a second? Very good. All in favor? Aye. Thank you very much.
Jamie. Yeah.